I would like to start a bit by asking who has already delivered an ICO from this room? Just raise your hand. Who has finished? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 5, okay. Some of you have worked with me, so I'm not counting you in. Who is now having an ICO, like in progress? Okay, me too. And who is planning to do other ICOs or their own in the future? Everybody else. So today I'm going to explain a bit how an ICO works, what is the main structure of it, what you should look like when you start an ICO, what you should have in mind when discussing about delivery, and like a main timeline. It's a bit introductory. I hope that it will not be too simple for you or not too complicated. So let's start. First of all, a bit about me. I'm Ioana Frincu. I was part of this year's batch of Forbes 30 under 30 entrepreneurs in Romania. I am the Chief Operations Officer of KrowdMentor, and I am part of the first company in Romania that has ever delivered commercial blockchain products. So I've been doing this for almost 2 years, and this is why I can definitely say that I think I have a legit advice. I think. Let's see. So, part of the projects I have been working in are projects for Group Societe Generale, delivering crypto exchange, the largest one in Singapore, doing projects for Transavia, also delivering the technical aspect of the latest product from the Gibraltar Stock Exchange, which is the Gibraltar Blockchain Exchange. And I'm gonna start a bit with what's an ICO actually. So, basically, we've been hearing about people selling tokens and trying to get money for them to fund projects, right? Everyone comes with a white paper, a nice team, a nice landing page, and they say, I want to raise $100 million, which is nice. We all want $100 million, but one, are we actually doing a good project? Are we actually as good as these guys? And are we actually bringing a change into this world? So Filecoin, EOS, and Bancor have all brought really, really disruptive technologies to life. And I have to say that EOS has raised 180 million, but right now they are worth 6 billion on the market because they're making their own technology, which is absolutely great. Bancor has brought to life a new protocol on which you can develop smart tokens on, and Filecoin is revolutionizing storage. So, to ICO or not to ICO? First of all, you have to think about the fact that your project needs to bring a change into this world. There were a lot of ICOs that just raised money and wasted them, bought a beautiful island, let's say, but we need to think about the actual change that we're bringing into this world with this technology. If we are going to just have an ICO to get some easy money, I suggest you do not. The market is not as naive as it was 1 year ago. And definitely 1 year from now, it will be even more difficult to create one of these projects. Does your project make a good case of distributed ledger technology? Distributed ledger technology is basically blockchain, okay? Think about what you're trying to do. If your project can be so easily and perfectly done without blockchain, don't use blockchain. Don't come to me and say you're revolutionizing a $500 billion industry if you're not part of that industry, because you won't. So you first have to wake up and think if it is a valid reason there for using this kind of technology, if it actually changes something. Because blockchain is not fast, blockchain is secure, is made to be self-audited, and is made to actually hold registries, ledgers. Therefore, you should not be like, I want to make a database. Okay, you can do a database in SQL. It's okay. Just think about what the technology actually brings. And you definitely need an ICO. If you have the funds to develop your project, I suggest doing an alpha or beta version, and then doing an ICO if you need more funds to develop it. Otherwise, doing it without any valid reason will not bring value, and you'll just be another project that tried to raise a lot of money and failed at it. When you think about the amount of money that you want to raise, be realistic. Don't go for going to the moon. Just choose the exact amount that you need, and with a bit of moving space around it. But try to be realistic about the funds that you need, because People know how to read business plans and white papers, and they will find the flaws immediately if you don't have a good plan when it comes to your funds and the valid reason of an ICO. So, how do we actually put things in order? First of all, we start with the concept. What do I want to do? Let's say I want to do an identity management solution. I'm going to think of what I want to bring different, what there's already on the market, what are the regulations, and define a concept. Then a bit of product development. Think of how it should feel like, how the users should see it, how it should definitely have the look and feel of a final product. If you want it to be, I don't know, purple, like my presentation. If you want it to be on a mobile phone, have a mobile application included, just think of how all technologies are combining with blockchain. Then, when you're ready, you have all the elements together, you go for an ICO, and because you have promised to deliver some stuff, you have to do some post-ICO development, which is actually the hardest part, because you have to achieve what you already promised. That's quite difficult. What are the components? First of all, I think the most important component in an ICO is the team. If you have a solid team that actually has a good knowledge of the field you are getting into, a good knowledge of blockchain, of distributed ledger technology, and the way that you can combine them, it's great. If not, get some experts, get some advisors. You need to get some really competent people helping you out, because having only people who have never bought Bitcoin in their life, but they want to do an ICO, it's not very efficient, so to say. Then marketing and PR. There's a lot of marketing that you need to do, from coming to conferences like the one that we are here, to online marketing and PR, press releases. You have to have a solid team that knows what to do, that knows how to do their job. Business development, which also includes the legal aspects, which are the most fun of all. My friend Gordon is going to talk about them afterwards. And the product development, which I have just said a bit about earlier, which includes having a product that actually solves some needs. Team. The team is generally created based on this structure. Co-founders, which are the people with the idea that want to change something. The advisors, which are the experts of different industries that come together and help them build a valid product, a valid case, and a business plan. And the providers, which can be your graphic designer, which you will not need for an eternity, but you will definitely need a lot more in the ICO phase and immediately after, who can also be any freelancer that you work with, or any external company that does maybe your software development, or maybe other areas, or even the guys that print your materials. The marketing is generally comprised of social media, ICO listing websites, which are really important because they rate your ICO, and you have to send your info to them, and they will go through your business plan and give you a rating, so they actually read that white paper. Community management, which is not as simple as you may think, because you have to think global and act local. There are a lot of local communities, like, let's say, in Korea, that use Kakao Talk, and there are a lot of people who are really passionate about this technology and want to invest in ICOs, but they might not speak English. So find a very good bounty manager with a good team that will be able to translate your papers, to deliver everything, and to actually keep the community alive. Without the community, we would not be here today. Blockchain is a technology based on community, transparency, and libertarian principles. So you definitely need to talk with everyone and make sure that they know what you are doing and that you are legit. And of course, the ICO roadshow, which I find really important, and you need to go to conferences like d10e or Block Show, which took place last week or 2 weeks ago in Singapore. And there you can present your project to larger investors. Basically, you go to the ICO roadshow to get larger investors, good visibility. Then you go to social media, and you go to community management after you have started a bit of this. ICO roadshows are made to have one-on-one talks with people that actually want to understand more about your technology, to get advisors, and to get larger investors. And business development. First, well, are you incorporated? There are a lot of possibilities, and there are a lot of countries that are just changing legislation, like France is now bringing a law dedicated to ICOs, where you can just submit your white paper and get your company registered, and you can start to have an ICO after you get the approval stamp. Legal aspects like SAFTs, simple agreements for future tokens. As I said, Gordon will have a presentation on that after me. Corporate partnerships, where you can actually team up with other people who have interesting projects, or even with larger companies that will share some of their data, knowledge, or people with your team, and you can learn more from them. And investor relationship. This is really important because someone may come and invest 500,000 euros in your startup. They want to know what's happening. This is not a small amount of money, and money don't fall from the sky. And then the fun part, which actually is more of where I am, which is product development. Before you get to that white paper and you go forward with having your product developed, you need to think about the concept, the token design. Think, is your token a security, a utility? Is it self-consuming? Is it not? Is it a trade asset token, a protocol token? What technology are you using? What is the life cycle? When do you burn them? When do you buy them? How do they run through the system? And of course, the other stack of technology that you're using, because blockchain is not the only technology. It is part of it. If this was your product, this would be blockchain in a matter of number of lines. You have to use other technologies that interface the user with your technology, because no one will open a wallet from their command line on the computer. You may, some of you may, I would, but trust me, my mother wouldn't. And she knows what a Trezor is, so she's quite familiar with this. And contribution, how do I raise money? From a technical point of view, you have to adapt to the market. For example, we've had ICOs that raised, apart from Ether and Bitcoin, they also raised EOS, which is now traded. Also, you have to have a user verification mechanism in order to be compliant with the rules of the countries that you are targeting. It is important to make sure that no money laundering or terrorist funding go into your ICO. And you need to make sure that you actually have legit people that are investing, because you might want to incorporate a company later, if you haven't already, and they will ask to understand who has already invested in your project. And also, you need to have your token audited. There are a lot of vulnerabilities that can appear, and if you do not have your token audited, you might have a lot of loopholes that might occur. The post-ICO development represents basically achieving the promised vision. It means that if you have promised an exchange like this one, this is actually a screenshot from our project, which is d10e. If you promise to build an exchange, do it. Make sure that you respect the timeline. And if you have to make changes to the timeline, make sure that they are valid. There's a reason behind them. You just don't want to randomly change stuff after you've developed and have people disappointed in the fact that you do not deliver in time. This also implies some community management and some dialogue with the people. Make sure that they are involved. Because again, you don't want people to start going on Bitcoin talk and everywhere saying, oh my God, this is a scam. I'm not investing in it. I'm selling all my tokens. And then your token will hit rock bottom. And as you have seen basically how it goes, I'd like to end a bit the presentation about how I see 2018 happening. Right now, in 2017, there has been quite a crazy, crazy world. We have had basically white papers that sold hundreds of millions of dollars. But right now, we see a more mature market that actually understands this technology better. There are more developers. There are more people who are transactioning, as you have definitely seen on how high the market is right now. And you will need to have an MVP, an alpha version, a beta version, something to actually prove your product. You will have people that will require to know where you are incorporated. What kind of laws do you respect? You have to prove the fact that you can verify them. And when it comes to the kind of projects that I see happening, I'm seeing like more identity management solutions and other solid cases like asset tokenization happening. And of course, I personally believe that more institutional money will come into ICOs and will be invested in crypto during 2018. Hope you found this presentation valuable, and if you have any questions, I'll be around both today and tomorrow to answer all of them. Thank you.